Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the Outback Al.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Chibi Noob.
And, well, there's Houdini. Yin and Yang will be joining us. They are currently grabbing something real quick, so they should be back in a little bit. New setup this week, new format.
Yep.
Well, same format, it's just different shows. We're watching the new shows now. What was the name of the first one we watched?
Okay.
To
To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts.
Okay, I was wondering if anyone actually knew what the Japanese name was.
No, not even gonna bother with it.
Yeah, it's a lot. What were you guys' initial thoughts on this? Because this is a new show, kind of a new. I know it's based on a manga. Should we? I mean, we usually go over the plot first. Should we just do that real quick?
Yeah, so basically it takes place in kind of like a Civil War era setting, except not America. It's in this country called
not America.
Patria,
Air quotes.
which starts off with a war between the industrial north part and the mining sort of like
They switched it from agriculture to the mining south in this one.
Yeah, and it's more or less just basically that the north didn't quite have as strong of a force as the south.
Yeah.
Hey,
and then they
stop that. And then
Houdini doesn't
basically-
like this show either.
No, I closed the window and now he's mad.
Oh dear.
But so basically, like, because the North wasn't doing so well, they made what are known as incarnates, which are basically these humans who can turn into monsters because they've been infused with
Super magical transforming super soldiers.
yeah.
And one dude turns into a dragon, and that was friggin' cool.
That is a
Oh,
thing.
someone's here. Somebody's here. Who is it? Who are you?
Hello, Yin&Jung.
Yay!
I am here at least for a bit, though I have to mess with my little cake in 5 minutes, but
Okay. All right. Well, we can.
so I might be in and out, but I'm
That's
here right
okay.
now.
That's okay. We're just going over some of the stuff from the plot. So the North is losing, which is not like the Civil War, but whatever.
No,
And
not
then
at
the
all.
South gets their ass kicked because of magical super soldiers and blah blah blah. I think our main character is Hank.
Yes, our main
the-
character's
the-
name is Hank.
Yeah. And he is the leader of the super soldiers. I think he's a werewolf.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is the purple werewolf.
The purple werewolf. We're gonna be learning a lot of. It's gonna start sounding like JoJo after a point, I think. But so Hank the purple werewolf is in charge, and they're just whooping some serious ass left, right, and
Yep.
center in this war after they get introduced, and everyone else is not having a good time. But and Hank's in love with the doctor who
Yes.
made them.
Elaine.
Elaine,
Yeah.
and then they have a childhood friend who is named Kane.
Yeah, Kane. We'll
Yeah,
get to him.
Uh-huh.
Kane Madhouse.
That
Yeah.
name.
I don't know if
That
that's
name.
foreshadowing anything.
Oh my god.
Who could ever know?
Yeah, so they're fighting through the war, and the war's kind of coming to a close. And one of them, who was like I think a Hydra kind of deal, 5-headed snake creature, spat poison and melted people. Is like I'd like to point out this show doesn't really shy away from some of the more graphic stuff,
Oh yeah.
which
no.
I kind of like. But yeah, he kind of goes nuts, starts killing some people, and he's like, oh, God, I can't control it. I can't control the beast inside me anymore. And then everyone's going like, oh, God, what if this happens to us? And you can gotta see, like, from the beginning to then, like, obviously they're experimented on people.
Right.
So they're going to have
Side
little-
effects.
little side effects. There's little bits and bobs of them that are kind of, like, discolored or changed. I didn't see
Yeah.
anything on Hank or Kane.
No.
But everyone else
Wow.
has, like, some feathers protruding or some scales growing out of their face or...
Hanks comes along a lot later.
Okay, yeah.
As I put in my notes, about the Hydra dude,
Yep.
whose name is like Abby, I think.
Abby.
I didn't
Abby.
bother to
But-
learn his name because he was just there to be killed.
I put Abby McFreakin loses it.
Abby McFreakin loses. That is pretty much what happened. But yeah, you do notice, like, from the start of the episode to the end of the episode, they get a lot scalier and
They get
monstrous
worse.
as they keep going. And they're like, it's only a matter of time kind of thing.
Yeah, it's basically slowly taking over their bodies.
Yeah, and their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So
it gets to the point that Hank's basically like, hang in there, guys. I'm going to ask Elaine, who's the girl, to marry me once the war is over. And then,
I'll be honest, was anyone else getting like a, wow, they're going to die so bad?
Uh-huh.
Because it's like, he's in love with her, and she's obviously got a thing for him, but he's not willing to make a move on anything, and oh, here's what I'm going to do after the war. What are you going to do after the war? It's like, I'm only 2 days from retirement, blah, blah. Like, there was no way that this was not going to end terribly for everyone.
Yeah.
Before that, I just want to make a note that Hank makes them all take, like, all the incarnates take an oath.
Yeah.
That, like, if they lose their soul, that
everyone else is gonna,
that it would
that they'll
be
be killed by their own.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're the problem. We're gonna take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people will actually live up to that oath.
I don't know.
But yeah. So war's pretty much over, and then so Hank's talking to the good doctor lady, and she kind of turns on him a little bit.
Yep, she shoots him in the gut.
Yep, with a special bullet. Apparently there are special kryptonite bullets now. That was not really well explained, but they glow a weird color, so I'm like, okay, magic bullets, gotcha. And she's like, yeah, you're all going to turn, so I'm just going to kill you all and then myself. And so she's like, hey, Kane, can you help me out with this? Oh, he shoots her in the chest. Who'd have thought someone named Kane would betray someone?
Right. He had that evil laugh moment.
The evil laugh. Who'd have thought that the guy named Kane Madhouse was going to be the series villain?
Well, I don't think they gave him the last
villain,
name until the end of the episode.
Yeah, but at that point it's like, wow, we're not even going to be subtle about this.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so then Hank decides, well, I guess, not exactly the correct setting, but I'll be Van Helsing and go around, kill off all the people who are losing their souls and turning into beasts and all that.
Yeah. And he wakes up from
he wakes up from a
long coma.
And a walking pair of chesticles lets him know, hey, so the doctor's dead. We don't know what happened. Kane's gone, and everyone just kind of left. And
well, no, the doctor is missing.
Oh yeah, the doctor is missing. And all the monsters are going crazy now. So, hey, I'd like a debrief or something. And just, let us know what happened here. And he's just like, I'm going hunting. And then the little girl from True Grit shows up.
Oh, yeah, she's Nancy.
Yeah, isn't she supposed to be the main character?
She's the actual protagonist.
Yeah.
She's one of the protagonists. And do you remember the daughter in the locket?
Yeah, it was.
That the one man was showing them?
That's
her father.
Kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his daughter.
And one of the beasts was perving on her a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of creepy, and I feel like that's going to come up later.
Maybe.
Well, after seeing both of the girls with the tits who looked exactly the same, are you surprised?
There's a monster girl who was blonde and just had enormous gazongos, and then another lady from, I guess...
I thought they were the same person, I
thought they were too, but then Hank's
too.
She introduced herself to Hank, and I'm like, oh, this is a different person. I had to explain that to you. They look so similar.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Yep.
It's just,
wow. Speaking of which, we could go into character design a little bit if we want. And all that stuff. What was your guys' thoughts on... I thought the animation was fluid in parts and just kind of lacking in others.
Yeah.
And,
that's pretty typical of anime.
I think that's about how I would describe most of the art direction and the everything else. It's pretty typical.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of stiff, and the designs were just...
Like, I could see this in, 8 other anime very easily.
Like, the only thing that I really sort of enjoyed were, the post-credit scenes and looking at Nancy's eyes. Those are the only things that I was like, oh, so pretty.
I didn't really look at them that long.
They were a very vibrant blue.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
I don't know. The whole aesthetic threw me off. I just didn't like it. It's like they were trying to do the Civil War, but they don't know it. They only know the Civil War from very few photographs or something. And then they watched Full Metal Alchemist and just mixed
Oh yeah,
the two
it's
together.
like yeah.
Well, and then, like, instead of, like, the colors that we're used to seeing for the uniforms, they gave...
the
like,
white.
the white, but then
Yeah,
also,
there was,
like,
like-
the red with the blue cowboy hat.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I
with
mean,
that.
they weren't gonna like just straight up rip the
I mean,
Civil
no,
War.
I get it, but
you know, they had to change the flag.
But why use the Civil War at all? That's my question.
Why say Northern Union and Southern Confederacy?
Yeah.
Because it's a western.
Yeah.
But it's like, what was the point? They just liked it for the background or something?
Partially,
You
yeah,
could
but it
say-
sets itself up for. I mean, like how many, like half of the good western movies that have been made in the last century are. Like that's the setup. It's a disgraced soldier or whatever from the Civil War who went out west and gets into gunfights, and so it's gonna be a western.
But
That's
you
that's
could,
like most of Clint
instead
Eastwood's
saying
westerns.
North, south, you could say east, west. You could
There's
do
that too.
anything else. You don't have to go
True,
that.
it was a little lazy, but I
was
think
It's
that's
on
more of
the
an issue with the
nose.
manga.
It's too on the
so.
nose.
A little bit.
It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure I saw General Custer there somewhere.
I can tell they know very little about the American Civil War. It's just like if America decided to make something off of a Japanese war, they don't know anything
We did.
about.
It was called Magnificent Seven.
There you go.
Another
Like,
western.
what's the point? I don't
No,
know.
yeah, no. You know what? I got a perfect example for you. Remember Death Note on Netflix?
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah,
no.
we won't talk about that
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
But
Oh,
I'll talk
actually,
about just let's just look at the surface of it, and we can
Just
remake
missing
this.
the point.
Yeah,
how about we do that for an episode at some point and just riff on it? Because I
I'd
haven't
be
seen
fine
it
with
yet.
that. I do have some laughs with
Oh,
that.
you
thing.
haven't seen it.
Oh, wow.
No, I have not.
You're gonna laugh at one scene and then just have your just face palm the rest. I can
Oh,
pretty much
I
guarantee
can
that.
guarantee that already.
Need to go. But you won't be back in a minute. They have plenty more opinions, trust me. I will say, it was like it kind of gave me a bit of like I got a bit of an Attack on Titan vibe.
Yeah, me too.
At the very least, at least in one, well, other than like people transforming into giant monsters of some kind. There was also that one scene where they were kind of, I think it was like after their first big battle, and Hank was like, "Yeah, we cleared the fort and took down whatever and blah blah blah. We're so sorry that a lot of your men had to die." And the general was just like, "Who cares? They died and we won and blah blah blah." And it's very like, oh, the people up top don't care about the people at the bottom. Not exactly new territory, but you know. I feel like that's a common theme in a lot of things. I mean, yeah, maybe that's just a common theme in anime. I feel like I've seen a lot.
It's a common thing in, like, anime where it's battle-centric.
Yeah. To be fair, that could be just a general thing, not even, like, exclusively to anime. I know I've seen plenty of movies that kind of work with that theme as well. Yeah, and they straight up just ripped off Full Metal Alchemist for those uniforms for the special guys. Was anyone else thinking that they were just bleached Full Metal Alchemist uniforms?
I mean, I haven't exactly really watched a lot of FMA, so...
Well, yeah, but you know the blue uniform. You're a cosplayer. You know the blue uniform thing that they always have, right?
Well, yeah, for Roy
Yeah,
and Risa.
That's the military uniform, and they basically just made a white version of that for this show. Which seems kind of weird to me.
Okay.
Because, like, I don't know if you guys know, like, in Vietnam, commanders in the field would a lot of times, like, take off any, like, insignia or rank or something that was on their uniform because, you know, an enemy sniper would, that's the first person they would look for is someone with, like, a lieutenant symbol on their helmet or whatever. And that's, like, you're just making yourself a target. Why would you just want to wear, like, a bright white coat on a battlefield and basically be like, "Hey, I'm super important. Shoot me."
I don't know.
Because they're super strong and they are confident in their abilities.
Okay, yeah, I get that, but it still seems kind of like, do you just have an ego about it, or
It's because it's an anime and they want them to stand out.
All right, fine.
Yeah, more or less.
I don't know. There was. I guess there was a point to the uniform thing. I'm just kind of like wondering, is like they're not. None of them are going to be wearing the uniform afterwards. I guess except Hank, maybe.
Yeah.
By the way, his weapon of choice, I guess, is a grappling hook spear.
Yep.
A little weird, but you know.
Well, it's a harpoon.
It's a harpoon. I have not seen a harpoon like that before. I guess he's hunting some strange stuff, so.
I thought it looked cool.
It looked cool. I just didn't get it when I first saw it. Yeah, what else do we think about this? I'm like, I've not been looking at my notes too much.
I actually didn't really have notes on this.
I felt like this
So-
entire episode was really just like an exposition dump, because as far as I'm aware, this does not exist in the manga. And it just starts with the girl when she shows up.
Oh. I think they probably wanted to lay down some context, because
Yeah.
if they're only maybe going to do, like, I don't know, one season of this show, they're
Yeah.
probably going to want to tell you what happened instead of, like, doing a flashback later on.
Yeah.
That's what I
guess
think
so.
they should have done.
I'm not a
Just
fan
do
of that.
flashbacks.
Because honestly, like, it felt even sort of rushed, this episode.
Yeah, it did. Like, I feel like it could have been like 3 to 6 episodes. Like, I didn't care about a single person because they rushed all of their arcs like nobody's business.
I don't know. I'm kind of glad they did it now instead of later, because I would have been super confused later.
I don't know. I'd rather be confused for a bit and have the mystery of it than just, like, info dump me.
I think there's points to either argument. In
Yeah.
media res, I think as far as like getting a story going
think
is
that's
probably
more
better.
interesting,
It is a
yeah.
little more interesting sometimes, but like at the same time, there's also get it out of the way, and you can just go straight into your actual plot and not have to explain anything.
But if you lose me by getting it out of the way, that's a different
okay,
thing.
yeah, they probably could have done a little bit better with their exposition dump. I know we talked about this when we watched it. Fate
like-
Zero has a huge info dump at the start of their
Yeah,
series,
but
and
they
that
have
series is
like
great.
beautiful like animation and
Okay,
so
yeah,
many
it's
other
affordable, so.
things going for them.
My whole thing is like, if you're gonna do, like, it's sort of small, like, do smaller info dumps and, like, seed them in throughout.
Yeah.
Like, don't necessarily do it all at once. I mean, granted, like, going back and forth and trying to piece together what happens isn't what some people like to do, but it's kind of like, it'll at least, like, be like, oh, this happened. It's like, oh, this happened also. It's like, oh, other
Right.
things.
I'd be careful riding that, because like I think this is technically in the shonen genre.
I think it's
I think
seinen.
so.
I think it's seinen because there's blood and stuff.
Oh, maybe. But I'm just saying, you're talking about a very big shonen trope, and I've watched Naruto.
Yeah, but
And
I was
that's-
thinking of like more like Durarara or something, or Bakuno, where they go back and have their flashbacks and their flashback episodes, but it's like throughout, you know?
Okay, and that's fine, but I think there's a big difference between like
Which is why I couldn't follow those anime too well.
Well, no,
I just
that's not what
thought
I
it
mean.
worked better.
When I say, like, seed it in, I mean seed, like, itty-bitty tiny pieces of it in episodes themselves. Like, not dedicate, like, other
So you're
fuller
saying the
episodes
Naruto
later
route.
on. Like,
But-
yeah, just kind of, like, weave it
I
in.
don't like that. I don't like that because they'll do the thing where they're like, where it's like, it's such a short amount of information that they're giving you at that time
Yeah.
that they're like, oh, 2 episodes later, do they even remember that flashback? We'll have to reiterate a lot of the
Right.
information from
I
that flashback.
wouldn't
And
do
then it's
that. I wouldn't do that thing. I would do more like
that is
Bakuno.
full Naruto, and I hate that.
Because if you have 1 or 2 episodes later on that are info dumping you, at least it
Yeah.
doesn't make me go like, okay, are we gonna get to the story now at the very beginning, you know?
Yeah,
Which is
you're-
how I felt with
You're
this
saying
one.
give them a Homer episode.
Yeah, like give one later on, or even 2 or 3 that goes over what happened during the war and all of that.
You know, we brought up Full Metal Alchemist before. They could have, covered it like the Ishvalan conflict in
Yeah.
Brotherhood, which they kind of just they don't spend full episodes there, but like anytime it's like a big character thing, they just like, here's a flashback to the war, and you know it's the war, and blah blah blah.
I think that's kind of what Chibi was saying to do. But I don't know. I just think it could have been done better because this was just so
Like,
awkward.
and it really all depends on how they like pace it and how like if you're watching the
That's true.
episodes like if you're watching them all in one just gigantic thing, like seeding things throughout is fine, but if like you're going by like a week to week basis and if you end up skipping weeks, that's like info
Yeah, that's a
dumps
problem.
might be
I think
a
that
bit
might
better,
be, yeah.
but
Actually,
Anyway.
that might have been why in Naruto they did so many flashbacks like that, because they're like, well, we don't know when people are
Well-
jumping out or not, so let's
well,
reiterate
that's
things
another
12
thing.
times.
Naruto is just so long.
Yeah.
but
It's
this
so
thing,
long.
if I'm remembering correctly, and I don't know like what they're planning on doing with the series, or they think they might get another season, but this thing has at least 7 to 9 volumes of manga to work off of. I
It
don't
does,
know how
but
heavily
we're
in detail everything's
probably
going to
not
go.
going to get
but-
through that many.
No, that's what I'm saying is like this might go a long time. Maybe it's better
If-
we get it out of the way first.
If it catches on. If it catches on.
If it does.
Yes.
Which I'd have to see another episode or two before I'm like, yeah, this is going to go somewhere, this is not going to go somewhere. So far, there wasn't too much that impressed me. I like people turning into monsters, that was kind of cool. But I've also seen
Right.
that in plenty of other places.
Am
I think-
I the only one who liked it?
I'm going to be blunt. I didn't like it at all.
I liked it enough that it's like, I feel like this episode was not great, but I think it's a setup for what could be a good series.
Yeah.
I'm more
like,
interested in the real episode 1, which is next week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it could make a huge turnaround, I guess.
Yeah. Because again, this is, from what you told me, this is not based on the manga. This is just
Yeah.
a thing they put together to get the info dump out of the way.
So maybe that's why it was kind of
So it might not be a reflection of the actual series.
I don't know, man. Like, I think that this episode got me excited for the rest of it. Like, I liked this
Yeah, me too.
episode.
Like I
So-
like the Western setting. I like the monsters, werewolf hunter stuff. I don't know anything about the Nancy person yet, but I mean, they're the main character. They should be interesting.
Do you know anything about Hank?
He was a soldier. He was a stray soldier, and he lost the love of
He's
his
a
life.
werewolf.
And he's a werewolf, and he's hunting the people who done him dirty. He's half of the Clint Eastwood characters in Clint Eastwood Western movies.
But he doesn't have that swagger.
Okay, that's a
Clint
fair point.
Eastwood
That's a fair
does.
point. That's a fair point. But who does have Clint Eastwood swagger other than Clint Eastwood?
Well, somebody like Spike and Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, that is lightning in a bottle. You cannot compare every anime protagonist to Spike. Spike is a
I'm just
is a
saying, if you
tier
want
of
like
his
a
own.
cowboy type character, it's that kind of personality.
I'm just look. There's not a lot of anime westerns out there, and Cowboy Bebop is like the only one that comes to my mind right away.
That's probably why I thought of it.
I think no, I get that, but
but
I'm
then
like,
you're comparing it to Cowboy Bebop.
I
and it's
know,
hard.
but if we don't just have some, we're never gonna have any.
I guess so.
You know, and I'd like to see. I guess maybe Samurai Champloo could kind of be considered in that genre a little bit, but again, that's from the exact same creator as Bebop.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you want to give a character more flavor.
Okay, yeah, he is kind of very generic, but again, he's not
He's some white toast.
technically the main character. Who knows? Maybe Nancy will be awesome.
I mean, she's got an elephant gun.
Okay.
So
She
I'm
could be
thinking
cool.
she's
That's
going to be
cool.
pretty okay.
Little girl with an elephant gun? Sounds cool.
Yep.
And a werewolf with a harpoon.
Yeah.
And I guess Tits McGee might be on for the ride. I don't know.
God, I hope not.
You really didn't like her.
It's like
You didn't like either of them. I
it's
don't
like
think.
they can make 2 female characters, I think.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, we covered the art style's pretty
More
generic.
thoughts?
I don't know. Should we actually say our votes on yay or nay? I'm gonna say yay, because I think the setting is good enough for me to be like, you know what? I think this is worth a shot. I know you're definitely a nay, aren't you?
I'm like a See, I don't want to be mean if everybody else liked it.
Oh no,
have an
what's your
opinion.
opinion? That is what this podcast is for.
Yeah.
All right, it was kind of more of a nay for me.
Okay.
That's fine.
Though I understand the second episode could be totally different, so it's kind of like a weak nay.
It's a weak nay. Call that a give it another episode?
Yeah, I would give it like one more, and if I find that one, the same, I would probably be nay. For
Okay.
real.
I know Gav's a yay, because
Yeah,
he was saying he really liked it.
Yeah.
Chibs, where you at?
I'm giving it a yay. If it picks up more in the second one, I'll probably keep going with it.
Okay, so we'll be watching that again next week. See if it improves. If not, who knows? Maybe it'll just get dropped, or maybe it'll turn out to be amazing. And yeah, we don't want to. Maybe this was a reverse Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
It's like Game of Thrones was like, hey, we're going off these books, it's amazing, and then they had to make up their own ending. It was like, wow, why? And now it's like, look at this series is amazing, but we had to make up a beginning, and it's terrible.
Maybe.
I don't want to say terrible, like
Just
it kept my
generic.
interest. Yeah, a little generic.
I wouldn't say it was
But-
terrible, it was just generic.
Yeah. All right, cool. So watching that again next week, we'll see how it pans out from there. Moving on the other one has a short name, Kanata no Astra, or Astra Lost in Space. So that's at
Yep.
least easy to remember.
Oh,
I
I didn't
only
watch
watched-
this one.
Yeah, you didn't watch that one. I mean, you can
only
listen in if you
watched-
like, but
I only watched part of this one.
yeah, because
so-
this turned out to be a 47-minute double episode for their first outing, which I think actually helped them out. It did do a lot of like character drops and like not necessarily a lot of development, but introduction out of the way, and then all right, let's really throw them into it. What did you guys feel about this, or I guess at least part of it?
You first.
Should we just go over the plot again?
Yeah.
All right, so there's a pink-haired girl named Ares, and she's going on a spaceship school field trip to Planet Camp, which I don't know. It's called Planet McPaw.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just weird. Why don't you just call it Planet Camp on both ways? And she goes to the spaceport and gets her bag stolen by a guy on a motorcycle. Why are you allowed to have a motorcycle in the airport? That confused me. And some dude with anti-gravity shoes and a sexy nose scar jumps over a fountain and kicks the guy to death. And well, he might be dead. I don't know. And then he gets hauled off by police bots.
Yep.
And then
That happened. No, and not the guy who got knocked out.
yeah,
the
no,
guy
no.
with
They
the
decided,
anti-gravity
nope,
shoes.
this is just an assault. It's pretty funny. Which those might be the robots from Space Dandy. I'm not sure. Not really important though. But yeah, so she shows up, and there's the rest of the international cast of individuals who will be on this version of Space Survivor. I didn't get all their names. I know the main character's name is Kanata. He's nose scar, anti-gravity shoes
We
dude.
got one name.
Oh, you got them all written down?
No, I don't. I'm
Oh,
just
dear.
going off the top of my head.
We could just say they're tropes if you want.
Well, okay. So we got one who's got like spiky white hair, who's
Yes, the
basically kind
smart
of like
Zach.
Zach, who's
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, they
stoic
all
type.
have. We should point out, like, it's not just a bunch of Japanese cast. It's like there's some German people, some Spanish people, some I guess American people or whatever, English. I don't know.
There was
It's like
there was
it's
an
a whole.
Esposito in
yeah.
there
Yeah.
who kind of reminded me of James from Pokemon,
I got just more of a trap vibe.
but
Are
and,
we talking about Luca?
Yeah,
I
Luca.
believe so.
Huh,
yes.
that's another famous trap.
And then there was also
There was the emo kid. We're gonna call him
Kanata.
Sasuke.
who is actually No Scar Boy.
Yeah,
who ends
he's
up
the
showing up
captain
late.
or whatever.
We've got like the emo kid.
Sasuke.
Who's,
That's what I
I
just said.
believe, German.
Yeah, something. Urkel.
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 Hello.
That's a name.
Hello.
He's the emo kid.
Yeah.
The shy one, who we know nothing about. They may be the crazy one on board. We'll have to find out.
Okay.
And the sisters.
Yes.
Yes, for some reason, there is a little sister that's coming along for the ride.
No, because the assignment was to take a 10-year-old into space.
Why?
So said little sister is coming along.
That just seems like a dumb idea.
I
All
know.
around dumb
I'm
idea.
not the one who makes the rules here.
But yeah, so that's your premise. You got 8 people and a little girl with a puppet who sounds like an old man.
Yep.
And they're all going to space for basically just, camp. It's an inhabitable planet. It's like a nature preserve. Nothing's gonna go wrong until a sentient Einstein-Rosen bridge shows up and sucks them all over to a different part of space. Yeah. So, and that's your premise.
Now they're like 5,000 something light years away
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah, they pop outside over Hoth, and they conveniently find a spaceship. Odds of that, I don't know what they are. But, and then they have to start working together, and their first, I'd like to point out, they do seem to at least have an understanding and awareness of the dangers of space travel and stuff like that, which is good. I feel like a lot of times, anytime someone goes to space, it's just like, oh, we're in space, and everything's exactly as it is on Earth, which just, we float a little bit. No, they get everyone to the ship using their little thruster thingies, which actually seem pretty accurate from what I know about space travel. A little more advanced, I guess, but they find out, the Ares girl, pink-haired, I'm just going to call her love interest for now, is her communicator is broken and her thrusters don't work and she's floating out into space, and they're like, well, we have to save her somehow, and so they get a winch and they tie themselves to the Kanata ties himself to the spaceship, and he shoots out there to get her. And I like that they're pointing out, it's your trajectory is off, or you need to do this, or you have to make corrections, because it's in space, it's you move in any direction, you will continue moving until something else, another force acts upon you. So it's if you're off a little bit, you're going to be off by a mile. So I like that they're taking some more hard science into effect with this thing. And
Yeah.
the wire is too short. He can't reach her. So he unhooks himself, like the crazy person that he is, and he goes and grabs her and tries to shoot them back. But again, you miss by an inch, you miss by a mile, he's going to miss the ship on the way back. But they all join hands and they bring them all back in, and everyone's safe and happy. Then they drop the bomb that they're way too far out for rescue or communication.
Yeah.
And then we find out about Kanata's backstory. Maybe this is how they should have done the backstory bit in the last show, but he's just I was going to be a track star, but my teacher was like, hey, you should do things that you actually want to do. And he's like, hey, I'm going to go to space. But my teacher died right afterwards trying to save a kid who was panicking, and that's why you shouldn't panic in a survival situation. Yeah. And now they're okay, so here's what we got. We got 3 days worth of food. We can hold up to 20 days worth of food and water. The ship can apparently use space to move itself, which I'm not sure how you can condense space or whatever. It's literally, it's a vacuum. It's nothingness. I don't know. It's 50 years in the future. Well, less than that, but 50 years in the future. Maybe they figured it out by then. I don't know. But they're yeah, we're gonna go planet hopping, look for food and resources, and hopefully we can get back to Earth. And yeah, now we're on our way.
Yeah.
So what do we think about? I thought the animation in this was better than the last one.
I loved the animation.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
used a lot of 3D animation.
That I
from
didn't
what
like as
could
much.
tell with
It's
this one.
I found the CG a little distracting, but I think it's used minimally enough that it's not gonna bug me. But it's like one of those moments where it's okay, yeah, I can definitely tell this. They just turned on the CG. Character designs, I'm not going to say are, like, crazy or anything, but they're pleasing.
I like the character designs.
Oh, we forgot. There was a blonde guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't matter, I guess. I don't know. He's the handsome one?
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know anything about these people, really, yet, so... Oh, and the little... Did we mention the little girl's big sister is there?
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure.
Cody or whatever.
Get her, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm interested in this show. I'm interested to see what they do, because they seem to, again, they seem to understand the hardships of space travel and stuff like that. It feels kind of like, I mentioned this, like, during the update when I was announcing this, is like, it feels like The Martian a little bit, where it's kind of like, or Gravity, or like some of the other space-type movies, heck, maybe even Interstellar, where they're like, this is how space works, here's what we have to do, blah, blah, blah. And I like that they're kind of taking that approach to it, because they could have easily just made it a generic space thing. But I think the hard science adds a little something to it.
Right. It could have been, like, slice of life, high school anime, but in space. But
yeah.
no, it's not
I mean, we're going to get it a little bit. But at the very least,
sure.
I feel like they at least fully understand the circumstances that they're in and how it works. I think that's really good. Little girl's probably going to die. She's got no use. But no, they're not going to kill that one. I am interested to see if anyone does die in this, though. Because, I mean, the odds are pretty good that it may happen.
Probably. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed that. What was that?
I'm wondering if anyone's going to die.
Oh.
'Cause
Probably not.
Probably not, but I still think there is at least the possibility of it, because, yeah, they killed a mentor and whatnot, whatever. But, like, I mean, they've already kind of pointed out, it's like, hey, this is working with real physics, real science, real space. People die in space, man.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, like, where they end up next, because they were, like, doing the whole, well, if we're gonna survive,
Yeah.
we have to find a planet.
We got a planet
like,
jump, and then to get home.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see, like, the different, I guess,
There's a lot of room for creativity
planets.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that, and it's like they're going to at least go to 5 different planets. Of course, each trip is going to take them 20 days to get there. Well, not the first one. They only have 3 days of food, so the first planet they have to get to is going to be in 3 days. I don't know if they're just going to skip to the planets, or whether they're... I feel like we're going to have a lot of time on the ship, and that's where your slice of life stuff is going to happen, and rigors of space travel kind of thing.
Probably.
But yeah, I am interested to see what they do with the planets. I'm interested to see, like, what... I feel like they could just look up a list of, like, stuff from, like, the Apollo missions or whatever else, and just, hey, whatever goes wrong in space, just put it in there. See what they do. Because I'm interested, because there's going to have to be, like, a lot of problem solving, and how do we do this? We have limited resources, we have limited manpower, we have so many limitations. How can we save ourselves?
Yeah, for sure.
So.
For sure.
What else? What else do we think? What do we think of the characters so far?
I hope we get some more on, like, Blondie.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him.
And Quiet Girl.
Yeah,
I
hope. Yeah.
Some of the others.
I mean, we don't really know anything about any of them other than, I guess, Ares and Kanata right now.
Yeah.
We know that
If
the
it's-
sisters don't seem to have a great
It's
relationship.
going to be like one of these kinds of animes where they're gonna make, like, there be, like, a lot of characters who actually have, like,
Every
unique
person gets an
character
episode?
design. They're going to give them
Wait, I missed that.
basically,
What?
like, at least a little bit of development here and there.
Yeah. But, like, we were forgetting people that were on the ship. Like, that's how little we know about some of them at this point, other than, like, a trope. Like, Blondie doesn't even have it. We completely forgot that he existed for a minute. He doesn't even have, like, I'm an anime trope. Like, we remember smart
he's
glasses
the pretty
guy.
boy.
We remember emo kid. We remember shy girl. We remember the two main leads. There was a little sister and a big sister. And after that, it's like, anyone else, like, who are you?
The blonde boy's the pretty boy.
Yeah, that didn't really come up until, like, the end of the episode, so, like...
I mean, I always thought he was pretty.
Okay, alright. I see someone has found a new husbando.
Nah, I like Kanata a lot.
I like him, too. He seems pretty good. He seems like a survivor, and that's what you need, I guess, for a leader in this. So, good for him. Leadership position. Aries seems like she's going to cause a lot more problems than she's going to solve. But I guess she's going to be the moral support for the group.
That's good, but I'm going to be banging my head on a table at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I know it.
Oh, yeah. Let's bring the clumsy one to space.
How about let's not?
She also doesn't seem to be able to speak Japanese very well.
No.
I don't know if that's just, like... I don't know.
Well, I think, like, because they're taking students from, like, all over. Like,
Yeah, that's what I assumed it was.
Like,
Yeah.
the Japanese isn't going to be perfect, and I think they were trying to reflect that in, like, her speech.
I do like that
Now,
they included that.
I thought they were all from the same school because she said I just like transferred
you
here.
know what? Yeah, they are all from the same school, but they all do seem to be a very international. You know, maybe this is like one of those like
Maybe it's like
international
an online
schools?
international school.
Maybe.
Well, they said, "Oh, that explains it because I haven't seen you around before."
Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's like one of those charter schools where you have to get a scholarship or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Never know. We probably won't learn about that because it's not important. But in any case, seems to be, at least from the names, it's an international cast. And she, at the very least, might not speak English or Japanese as a first language. So I think that's good. I don't know that they include that kind of thing that often, and especially like because space travel in the real world is also there was the International Space Station. There's like so many different countries with space programs. Yeah, it helps when everyone speaks the same language, but there's going to be a lot of people who are like speaking it as a second or third language. So, again, I like I think I like the attention to detail in this show, and I might be looking forward to this one more than I am the Abandoned Beasts thing, though I'm still looking forward to Abandoned Beasts.
I'm looking forward to both.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to be, like, super into either of them.
I mean, you gotta always be worried when you first go in.
But, like, then I actually watched them, and I was like, oh, these are interesting. Like, I'm actually looking forward to watching them next week. Which is, like, I haven't felt that way about an anime in a while, so...
Not since JoJo?
So...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fairly confident this one will be pretty good. Fairly. It could tank very easily. I don't know. It's the first episode. We never know what we're going to get. Any other thoughts on it?
No.
Alright, well, it's a yay for me.
Yeah, it's a yay for me.
Chibs? Do we lose Chibs?
Don't count me. I'm not done yet.
Oh. Sorry. Go for it.
I can't offer a proper vote unless I've watched the full thing, so I'm not letting mine count.
Yeah, we spoiled some stuff for you, didn't we? I'm sorry about that.
It's fine. I don't care.
Did you like the first half that you did see?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
I'm not completely annoyed yet.
What were you annoyed by? Let's hear this.
I have a feeling I'm not gonna like Aries very much. Let's just say that right now.
Yeah, no,
Not that I don't mind, like, cute sort of characters who are just, like, a ball of sunshine. Not that I don't like them, I'm just... Oh, no. I have a feeling she's going to lead to a number of problems.
Yeah, cinnamon rolls are great, but, you can't eat them for every meal.
Uh-huh. Like, I can deal with them in, like, small doses.
I mean, in a cast of 9, 10 if you include the puppet, even if she's, like, the main girl, still gonna be a lot of other people around. I don't think there's gonna be too much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know,
I'm
man.
waiting.
I like her.
She's okay. I'm waiting for, like, the first thing that goes wrong. Is it gonna be her fault or just something else? That's all I want to know. Because I'm not gonna say, like, them getting sucked into a wormhole and her ending up with a broken spacesuit and floating away from them was her fault, but she kind of was the center of their first problem. Not her fault, but I'm wondering if I just don't want the show to be like every problem centers around Aries. She's either the cause of or the center of. It can't. I mean, just odds are unlikely, but she might be the Murphy's Law of the group.
I think it's cute how ditzy she is.
You want a ditzy person in space?
No.
No.
Really.
No, you don't.
No, but it's funny.
I don't find it funny. I find it grating. Ugh.
Well, get a sense of humor. No.
No,
Dear.
that's the thing. I don't even find it funny.
Gab putting
And-
his foot down.
And you call it cute. If I were to think it was cute, I wouldn't necessarily even think it would be funny. I would be gushing over it, and I'm not doing that. I'm just silently shaking my head, being like, when am I gonna start cringing?
I mean, I think.
I think
Yeah,
you're
this
being a little
person.
too harsh.
This person is definitely not equipped to be an actual astronaut. But I think that the original journey that they were supposed to be on was just, hey, I'm gonna fly you out to a planet. Just don't die for 5 days. You have 8 other people. It's basically a camp trip.
Right.
It just happened to be on a different planet with a breathable atmosphere and food and lodgings and everything. I don't think there was any circumstance where they were like, you have the possibility of dying here. Unless you get into a Lord of the Flies situation on that planet, you're going to be fine. And odds of a Lord of the Flies situation happening in 5 days with ample food and supplies, unlikely. But yeah, so, she's probably really out of her element, but I don't think she'll be the cause of every problem. Hopefully. We have to give the rest of the cast something to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any final thoughts on it? What? You like it?
I like it. I think it's cute.
I like the show so far. I'm good with both for now. Gonna continue watching Kanata no Astra as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright. Well, I guess that wraps it up for this week. We'll see how each show does next week, whether we'll keep them, whether we'll drop them. I don't know. Whatever we'll do. And I started watching... What was the name of it? Cute High Defense... Whatever the thing is.
Okay.
I watched one episode. I'll save my opinions for whenever we actually do it. But yeah, we'll be doing that. I don't know. Probably what, end of the month, you guys think?
Yeah.
Give everyone enough time. And at some point, we'll be watching Animal World and put that up as well. So yeah. All right. That's about it. So see everybody next week. More. Whatever the Japanese name, the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, and Kanata no Astra. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.